Good day Internet, welcome back to my channel. Well, we're just about to the end of our 20-day trip here in Istanbul. So let's get some feedback of our experience and what we've learned during our stay. So please keep watching this video. Okay, money. Cash is absolutely king here in Istanbul. So what you need to do is when you land at the airport, go to the nearest ATM and draw cash. You can draw Turkish lira,
Euro, dollar,
and American dollars, and the choice is yours. I would recommend Turkish lira because that's accepted absolutely everywhere. Remember to inform your bank of your intentions to travel, because otherwise they would think that the card is stolen if you draw.
Well, the banks just make a note on the system from the time you leave your country till the time you come back, just to make sure that it is actually you withdrawing the money.
Okay, so you need to inform your bank. Then if you've got cash, I mean, one of the hotels that we booked in, they wanted cash, they didn't have a card machine. So really cash is the number one thing in Istanbul.
It's the best way to go.
The Istanbul Card. You need to purchase an Istanbul Card at any vending machine, at bus stations, metro stations, wherever, lots of places in the city. It's 50 Turkish lira for the card.
Yeah, for the deposit of the card.
For the deposit, and then you need to upload money to use the card. This card is necessary to use public transport, as they do not accept any cash.
You can use it at any metro, any bus, any train, any tram. You can use it everywhere. Even when you go to public toilets, you can swipe your Istanbul Card.
Yeah. So it's absolutely a necessity to have an Istanbul Card and to use it during your stay in Istanbul. Accommodation. One thing is for sure, that there's several accommodation opportunities here in Istanbul, from 5-star luxury to budget hotels. I must say that I think there's more than 3,000 hotels just in the city. In the area that we stay, there's like 6 hotels in a row. There's a shop and then another 6 hotels. We stopped counting all the hotels that's available here.
Just one very important thing you must remember: you have to book before you do your trip, because you can't come here and think you're going to get a hotel easily. The hotels are fully booked everywhere, almost everywhere. When we arrived at our last hotel, we got here and the guy said to me, no, we're fully booked, because before I told him we've got a booking already.
And that's even out of season, so it's a very touristy place in Istanbul. Yeah, so the accommodation is fine. We were very satisfied with all the places that we stayed, yes, I think it's fine. We made use of booking.com, and we're happy with what we found.
But you need to book before your trip.
Okay, public transport. There's quite a variety of options or choices of public transport. First is the buses, the trams, the metros,
the ferries, cable cars.
So there's really a variety of options that you can, and it's quite easy to find your way around. If you know where you need to know where you're going. If you don't make use of a travel agent, you need to plan your trip and make sure where you want to go for that day.
Everywhere the bus stations and metros are maps up at the stations, so you just need to know which area you're going to, what you want to go to do, and you can follow the maps.
So for instance, if you want to go to the Blue Mosque, it's just on the tram, often on another tram, and it says to you what station you got to get off, and you right at the Blue Mosque. We went to a Friday market on the Asian side. We knew the bus number and the ferry number, so you need to do your homework when you're traveling without a travel agent and you wanted to go some places. But when you've got done your homework, it's so much information available on the internet, so it's quite easy to find your way. But the public transport is really very good. I think on the trams, if you take, I think every few minutes they just line up the one after each other.
Every 5 to 10 minutes, and once you know how it works, it's easy.
Yeah, so they can be very crowded during peak periods. But if one tram is full, you just wait for the next one, it'll get onto it. So it's not a problem to ride the tram. They can load it, but it's fine. It's no problem. Okay, food. Food in Istanbul is very nice. You get street food and of course restaurants. Now restaurants, it's not expensive, but it's not cheap.
It's a bit more expensive than on the street when you buy it.
Street food, of course, is very cheap. The most common food that you get on the street food is like
Donut, meat donut. It's more or less a wrap with meat inside, tomato, lettuce.
yes, and then
You get the wet burger. It's like a small hamburger with a type of sauce on it, which make it a wet burger.
but very nice.
Very nice, yeah.
And
It's
cheap,
nice.
15
lira,
yes,
yeah.
And then what's it? Kebabs. You get kebabs, and all this is in wraps, and it's a lot of bread type of
Much.
food, yeah.
And pastries as well. They've got a lot of pastries. Some just plain pastries baked in a form and cut up to pieces. Others got type of cheese inside.
Yeah,
And then it's rolled.
that's right.
It's-
Yes. And desserts. I mean, desserts is
Got a lot of juice.
a lot of choices. Okay, and what is the
Kunefe.
It's the
One of the it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a little pie baked, but it's cheese with
syrup, nice syrup.
cheese and they
And
bake
some
it.
ice cream with that, but it's nice.
That's nice.
But food in general is good, it's fresh, and it's not expensive. Okay, shopping. Shopping is, of course, a quite nice experience here in Istanbul, and you have a variety of choices. It's, of course, very, very cheap, especially at the markets. Stores, not that.
Not that much.
Much,
The malls are more or less like ours.
Yeah, so,
Don't buy cheap at a mall.
yeah.
You get your cheaper malls like underground,
Yes,
subway markets. They're more
Yes.
cheap, but like a normal mall, they
But
expensive.
if you want absolute bargains, there's of course the fake markets, the street vendors. It's all over. If you still like at the Grand Bazaar and the Spice Bazaar, if you start walking that street, you can walk for the whole day, and you will find bargains upon bargains. And then you can also negotiate the price. You can.
They're quite fair.
Quite fair with the price. If markets, if you go out of the city,
You get Tuesday markets and Wednesday or Friday markets. They are the most cheap.
yeah. So we
cheapest.
took a ferry ride out and a bus ride out, and we went to.
It's quite far out.
Yeah, for
But,
Friday market. But
yeah,
wow,
it's worth
I
it.
can
It's
tell
worth
you,
it
It's really, really cheap, and we bought quite a lot of.
because they cater for more or less, or most of the time for the local people.
Yeah, so that's
So it's very cheap.
So shopping is fun. Shopping is cheap, and that is what we mainly did here in Istanbul. It was a lot of fun. Okay, the traffic in Istanbul. The traffic can be pretty hectic with the cars. That's why if you go with a tram, it's not a problem. The traffic doesn't hold you up. It's easy to go, or faster to go with a tram or with a metro. But if you cross the street, if you walk the street, be pretty careful.
Then it's chaos
Yeah.
because you get scooters riding. You got
Yeah, because I got the impression that they won't give way to a pedestrian. They will ride you out of the way. So be careful when you cross the street. Even the back streets, they come at high speed, and they won't stop for pedestrians. But the traffic, we cross the street, it's not a problem because the traffic is slow moving in most of the times, as it is congested. As I say, it was easier to go by metro or by tram, and it was a faster way to go.
and safer.
But yeah, then do it by car. The Turkish people, I think, in my opinion, they are quite friendly people. They try to avoid you because of the language barrier, but in general, I got the opinion that they are friendly and they're helpful where they can.
Especially at the hotels and
Yeah.
normally the hotels.
So I think I like Turkish people, and they were really helpful and friendly. The language is a bit of a problem, but in general, we felt safe between them. We felt welcome. We can see that they know how to handle tourists, as there are many tourists, and I think Turkish people is really nice people. The language barrier. Turkish people doesn't speak English.
They don't understand English.
Not the police. No policeman could help us. They just say no English and they walk away.
They walk away.
Even some of the hotels doesn't speak English. So language is a real problem here. To get your directions, you're going to struggle if you ask anybody, because they will just ignore you and walk away and start speaking Turkish, and you don't understand it. So there's a very few people that speak English. You need to learn some English words. It's very important just to get around.
Like merhaba is hello, secular is thank you, tuvalet is toilet, evet is yes, hayır is no, and so I can go on. At least
So
I got to help us.
This helped did the homework, and it helped quite a lot. If you want to know how much something costs, we can just say
Ne kadar?
and they will answer you. The problem is if you ask them Nekadat in Turkish, they will answer you in Turkish and give them out and say what in English. So what they do, they cannot understand, or they cannot say the English word, but what they do is they take a calculator or their cell phone and they type the amount so that you can see, and then you start negotiating. Say no, and you deduct the amount till you negotiate and that you've reached.
Otherwise you have to say ne kadar lira please in English, fiat. That means what's the price in English please.
So you get around, you get sorted, it's a lot of fun. But learn those words, it will really help you if you know some Turkish words. Okay, public toilets. Public toilets is not full. There is...
no, that's kind of a problem. You get them...
Okay. So there is public toilets. They charge a fee of 1 lira to enter. You just swipe your Istanbul Card, so it works quite easy. There's most of the churches and the mosques allow entry to their bathroom areas, and they charge a price of between 2 and 5 liras to enter. So it's not a hectic problem, but it's not a big amount of public toilets. But there's
no, you've got to walk around looking for a toilet.
And you have to understand this is a Muslim country, so you have to bidet toilet systems, and you've got to squat. So
not like we used to our toilets. Some of the hotels got normal European toilets, but not all the public places got the Muslim toilets.
That's just another thing that you've got to learn and got used to. You have to get used to it, but it's not a serious problem. It's not. Okay, safety and security. I must say that I felt pretty safe in Istanbul.
This is one of the safest countries that I've ever been to.
I don't know what the crime stats is, but we weren't aware of any crimes whatsoever.
None. We even dropped some money a few times. The man behind you just taps you on the shoulder and shows you dropped money and you pick it up. They are really
we didn't get any like pickpockets. I had my purse in my bag, I had my backpack on, so it was not a problem. Even late at night while walking back to the hotel, there's many people on the streets and they're friendly. And
yes. With your phones in the hand, with my purse in my hand, don't need to
feel threatened or anything like
that.
No,
nothing like that.
And I think one thing is also, I don't think alcohol is abused here. It's a Muslim country, so alcohol is not abused. We didn't see any drunk people.
You don't see drunk, and you get to buy beer in the local shops.
Yeah,
you get to buy it everywhere on the street, but you just don't see drunk people. You don't see it.
Yeah. So for safety and security, I think Istanbul
excellent, definitely
100% safe. Okay, the internet. Internet is fast. Well, you only find internet or free Wi-Fi
in the hotels.
In the hotels where you stay. There is no free Wi-Fi in restaurants or
shopping centres
and places like that. I believe at the airport there is free Wi-Fi. But if you need Wi-Fi while out of your accommodation area, you need to buy a SIM card. You won't find free Wi-Fi anywhere else but at the accommodation that you stay.
Or your phone needs to be roamed to get Wi-Fi.
That's right. But it's the internet is good and it works fine. It's fast internet and it's sufficient. We could do WhatsApp calls home and I could
send messages and Google everything we need to.
And receive all my emails and SMSs and everything went well. So it works pretty fine. Okay, tourists. There is surely a large amount of tourists in Istanbul. I understand that in June 2022, this year, there were some 6 million tourists that enter the airports into Istanbul. So everywhere you walk, it's just tourists upon tourists. The only problem is you're not sure when it's tourists of Turkish people because all languages from all over the world are spoken. But you can really see the difference between tourists and local people. But there's many tourists. This is a tourist destination for sure. Okay, our final opinion of Istanbul. Well, I must say this is really an awesome experience. We've been over the world like to Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Hong Kong, but this is just a different experience.
Totally different. It's definitely a must.
Yeah, yes, so many people, so many things to do. I mean, we spent 20 days here, almost 20 days, and we couldn't get to everywhere that we would like to get.
It's definitely still not enough.
It's a huge city. There's so much to do. It's so much to experience, and every day we just gain all these experiences, and it was fantastic. In my opinion, will I be back to Istanbul? Absolutely. If it's possible, I will surely come back here.
Definitely. It's awesome, yeah.